You can't see me because I'm behind the camera, but the rather handsome fellow standing in front of me is attorney Joshua Prince. And Joshua, you specialize in firearms law?
Firearms law, yeah. Pretty much anything at the state or federal level. Here within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, deal with all sorts of firearms law issues, and federally, any issues across the United States and internationally with regards to firearms.
Okay, Josh, I have a question. A lot of the fellows that are involved with the Second Amendment movement are, we carry concealed firearms, we carry concealed weapons, and we dread the day that it might ever happen that we have to actually use that firearm in a self-defense situation. So as an attorney specializing in firearms law, if someone has to take and draw their weapon and really, God forbid, actually have to fire it and kill somebody, what should they do?
The first thing that I always tell anyone to do is you're going to have to end up calling 911. Now, if possible, I always say that you should call or ask someone else to call 911 for you, because any of your statements can later be used against you in a court of law. When you call 911, if you do it personally, I can confirm that those operators are trained to get information out of you. That's why I tell everyone to go ahead and have someone else call 911 if there's someone else available. If not, you call 911, you inform them of your location, that you were attacked, and that you need police and ambulance, and then hang up the phone. Again, the reason I tell everyone to hang up the phone is because if you stay on the line with that 911 operator, I can almost guarantee that you will speak with them and tell them more about what has occurred. At that point, the police are going to be arriving shortly. You should holster your weapon if the person no longer poses a threat to you. If they do, your firearm should be out, but pointed in a safe direction so that you could use it quickly if necessary, but otherwise, it won't pose a threat to the officers that are arriving on the scene. At that point, the police are going to want to take your weapon. Give it to them. It's part of their investigation. We can deal with getting your firearm back later. At that situation, the officer may cuff you or may not. It'll be at the discretion of the officer. But you have to understand at that current time, the officer doesn't know whether you're the victim or whether the person laying dead was the victim. So they have an investigation to make. At that point, the officer's going to ask you a bunch of questions. You should ask for your attorney and to go to the hospital. The reason I say to go to the hospital is at that point you're going to have a splitting headache, you're going to be nauseous, you may be throwing up, you are not going to be in the correct frame of mind to be able to answer any of their questions. And in fact, when a law enforcement officer is involved in a shooting, they will give that officer between 48 and 96 hours before having to answer any specific questions. But they won't give that same respect to an individual who's involved in a self-defense situational shooting, which is why you must say that both you want your attorney and that you want to go to the hospital. Part of the reason for wanting to go to the hospital, other than your physical condition, is to put some space between you and the police. Now, the police do not have to oblige your request. They could take you down to the precinct and begin formal charging. That is their decision, and you can't do anything about it. But they do have to provide medical treatment for you at the jail. And that's why I always say that you want to try and make that or place that distance between yourself and the police officer. It is important that you call your attorney as soon as possible and that you are unequivocal in your statement that you want your attorney. You do not say, I may want my attorney, I think I want my attorney. It is, I want my attorney. At that point, the police are on notice that you want your attorney, and if they continue to question you, we have a substantial basis for being able to get any statements that you have or make suppressed.
Josh, thank you so much for all that. And do you have a website?
Yes, I do. Our main website is www.princelaw, that's PRINCELAW.com. And the firearms specific division of Prince Law Offices is the Firearms Industry Consulting Group, which is www.firearmsindustryconsultinggroup.com.
Great. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to tell us this stuff.
My pleasure.